Yes. Okay. Perfect. So, well, stop the rolling fingers back. I need to just need to clear my throat. We don't have a cough button, unfortunately. But yeah, for the visual watchers at home, who were watching the stream live, yeah, welcome to episode. What have you?
78.
78, and then for the audio listeners at home, also welcome to episode 78 of the podcast. And for people watching, there's a lot more information we need to give you guys, because you'll probably notice that I'm looking pretty crisp.
You are looking very crisp, Karl.
I'm looking very, very crisp on my webcam, and that's because I have done a thing, and that thing is I have borrowed a new camera from my girlfriend, who has a very high quality camera that is better than the quality of my webcam that she uses for things. And I thought I'm going to try it and see if it can work as my webcam, which it does, leading to this way better quality than we normally have for my videos.
I was going to say, unfortunately, it's not for my end. Like, I'm still using the same webcam that we already had, but like, it's on my list of things to get to like improve this setup, especially now that we're doing a podcast where I'm a bit more like visible rather than a tiny little the corner screen.
Yeah, and that is in anticipation for The Office, which we can get to in a moment. But before that, I've got some news, Lucas. I did something today.
Oh?
Yeah. Actually, I did something yesterday, and that thing that I did yesterday was absolutely shit my pants. Because I checked my phone. Yeah, I checked my phone, because I have two phones. I have my business phone, which is just the phone I use for everyday life, and then I have my old phone, which I use for shit that I don't want people to call me for.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So that's my number that's registered for like Amazon and stuff like that. I've got a package that I don't want my number ending up on a spam call list. So if anyone needs my number, book it. Just give them that one. And I checked that phone yesterday because I ordered pizza. And that's the one, again, Just Eat, call that phone. I went, got a message from the NHS here. It says that I can go in tomorrow for my AstraZeneca COVID-19 jab.
Hell yeah.
Holy fuck. So that's been my entire day. So I have had my first COVID-19 vaccination. So in 11 weeks, I will have completed my course of the vaccination. I don't know why it's 11 weeks. Like, fuck it, whatever. It has been an experience. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I know many of my family work in the NHS, and like back, when the vaccines first started, they're like, oh yeah, I've got my first vaccination, and like this month they're like, oh, yeah, well, I'm fully vaccinated now. I've got my second jab, and I'm like, Jesus, that takes a while.
Yeah, but as promised, I have here. This is a shot of Jack Daniels, and before anyone asks or anyone tries to like come in and be smart alecky about it, I've checked. You are able to have a drink after having the COVID jab. It does not impact the effectiveness of the jab at all, so long as you drink responsibly. So that's like you can have a celebratory like glass of wine or two, or in my case, a shot of beer. A shot of whiskey, and a pint of beer. So I have in front of me as well my pint of Guinness that my girlfriend went out and bought for me special today.
Oh, nice.
For the jab, and I'm going to try and open it with, again, the video watchers, the people watching the stream live, you get all this extra bonus. So there's a Fact Fiend bottle opener that you can't buy anywhere. This is a gift from a fan from the live event.
Oh, yeah, I remember. And I will say, Karl, by the way, I've just noticed, I'm like trying to crop like little Discord bits out my stream. You aren't in like 16:9. I don't know what like perspective your camera's actually in.
We don't know what the problem is. Like I said, my girlfriend uses this for things. And it's just a problem. You have to zoom in, but we can't do it on Discord, unfortunately.
Ah, right, okay. I was wondering then. I was like, hang on. I've just noticed that Karl's got black bars around him. What's going on?
Yeah, it's something about using the camera as a webcam. It puts it in like the webcam dimensions, not widescreen. So it's one of those things where like I'd rather have the better quality than the better aspect ratio.
100%.
I don't know about you, but yeah,
I'm sure it's something we can like figure out down the line at the office and stuff like that eventually. But
yeah, when we get like Nisha or something in who's like more equipped to handle this than I am, because she's just more tech savvy. But yeah, for the audio listeners at home, they've not really had much content so far. I was pouring myself a nice pint of ice cold Guinness into an ice cold glass.
And I will clarify, like I made a joke on Twitter of like, yeah, I'll have a shot as well.
No, you don't need to, mate.
I'm not, because like I don't want to drink in celebration of like me being sorrowful of not having a vaccine. That seems really, really sad, and like I don't genuinely want to do it, but I don't want somebody afterwards being, well, Lucas never actually did a shot. It's like that was called a joke.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
joke.
not drinking in sorrow. Like that's not the stage am I at.
Yeah, I was going to do this the moment I got in. I was going the moment I got, but then I realised I've got work to do.
Yeah.
Because apparently the vaccine will kick your ass about 12 hours after taking it.
I've seen a lot of people say the day after is rough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I'm going to maximise the amount of time I'm going to have, just without being on my ass. So I thought I'll edit all my videos first. I'm going to write my articles tomorrow when I don't really have to be that compos mentis. And I went to the gym first thing this morning, which is why I'm a bit tired. Because I woke up.
Mentis, Karl.
Yeah, compos mentis.
I've not heard that word before, but I like it.
There's a Latin term. It means like you're just like all there in the head.
Oh, okay.
There's probably like I'm probably mispronouncing it, but yeah, I've had a very long day today, and first of all, just actually registering for a GP to get my jab was an absolute ball ache. I'll tell you that. Because you've heard privately, haven't you, Lucas, my just woes of trying to get.
Yeah, you've mentioned like on some like Smash rooms and stuff, and like just in general recording. I've just I still haven't been able to get fucking registered somewhere.
So I can set the scene for this one because in the UK you register with a GP. Generally, you'll keep your GP for the rest of your life, and it's not really been all that important right up until the advent of COVID, and specifically the vaccine. Because to get your vaccine, they do it through your GP. And my GP for my entire life has been in Scunthorpe. That's where I was born. That's where I was registered. Even if I went through to Pontefract, which is where I lived from like age 2, I was still registered as being in Scunthorpe. It's such a ball ache to transfer your GP.
Yeah, and like it took me a few years before like living in Liverpool city centre where like, well, my GP is only half an hour away. Like if I've got a problem, I'll just travel half an hour. And then eventually I got around to like, no, I should register a bit closer to like, my local one. But yeah, generally speaking, when it's within, an hour worth of traveling, it's not really worth it because you don't go to your GP that often, generally speaking.
I've never been. That's the thing. Since I turned 16 years old, I've never been to a GP because if I've ever had a problem, like university was a fucking like walk-in clinic around the corner.
Yeah.
Or A&E. But the problem was like when I heard, to get your vaccine, you have to be registered with a GP. I'm like, fuck, am I still registered back in Scunthorpe? So I called them up and I checked. Oh yeah, hi, my name's Karl Smallwood. I'd like to check. Am I still on the books? And then, yeah, you are, Mr. Smallwood. Anything else can I help you with? And I try to make small talk. Like, oh no, I was just worried because I want to get the jab. And I moved to Sheffield a couple of years ago, and I was worried that you'd have taken me off the books. Oh, so you live in Sheffield now, Mr. Smallwood? Well, yeah, but I can travel back through. Unfortunately, we can't keep you on our books. Boom. That was it. End of the conversation. Didn't even finish talking, just took me off and hung up.
Yep.
And I've just basically spent the last 2 months just scrambling to apply to every GP in Sheffield, and none of them will take me on. And then yesterday, I didn't even know a GP had taken me on because they've just added me to their books and then put me in for the vaccine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I just had to scramble to figure out where the hell I was going.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the assumption after reading the message to go to my GP. Because I Googled the name of the one that accepted me, went there, and I turn up on the door. And, oh, yeah, I'm here for the vaccine. Oh, you don't come here for it? What do you mean I don't come here? Where do I go? Well, you got to go to this location here. Where's that? Well, it says in the text. And I hold up the text to the door because I'm talking to them through a doorway on an intercom. Where does it say that? And they said, well, right there. Like, no, that's the area I live in. Well, no, that's there's a COVID vaccination site in this area. You've got to go there. And I'm like looking at this message, like, how am I supposed to know that?
Yeah.
How was I supposed to know that I don't go to the name that's at the bottom? And keep in mind as well, this is the only interaction I've had with anyone in an official capacity about where to go. So I got a text telling me they're doing drop-in centres, but it didn't give me any information about where to go. No email address, no link to click to guide me, no map thing, no address, no postcode, nothing. Just you can go get it tomorrow. You've got 8 hours warning.
Yeah.
Go. And I rock up and there's 500 people in the queue.
Oh, sorry.
Because I had to get an Uber to the location because I checked, it's 45 minutes away if on foot. So all that faff about trying to get a GP that's local was complete nonsense because they made me go an hour away anyway.
Yeah. Oh God, that's rough. And to clarify, I'm not in the same like vaccine age bracket as you, even though we're like there's less than a year between us.
But I'm 30
Carl's
and
turned
you're
30 and I
29.
haven't. So for me, like that whole process is still to come, and that these are many of the reasons why we're like talking about the office as if it's like still a while off, because for me to be vaccinated and travel down there is still a while off, because
Yeah,
we've
it's
got to
at least
wait
2
for me
months.
to be like 20s to be allowed vaccines, because
Yeah.
fuck that system, and then I've got to wait like multiple months to get my second vaccine, then the 2 weeks to like make sure you're fully vaccinated after you've had the jab.
Yeah, it's gonna be at least 2 months for me before I'm able to do anything. But I'm planning in anticipation of when I will be fully vaccinated. And something that was amusing to me is I posted, on Twitter and so other social media. Look, I'm getting the jab tomorrow because I feel it's important at this point that the amount of disinformation out there from like massive. I think it's Seth Rogen. It's who's that fucking knobhead? The MMA guy. Someone in chat's
Joe
going to tell me.
Rogan?
Joe Rogan, that bell end. He's telling his audience of like 10 million people, like, oh yeah, if you're about 20 years old and you're healthy, don't get the jab. It's like, no, f off! Don't tell people that.
God damn it!
And it's like, oh, so it's like, yeah, I'm going to get the jab tomorrow. And my favorite thing is, like, I just posted a screenshot of the text I got with some information blacked out. And Lucas, considering that this was a text from the NHS in regards to my medical records, do you want to guess what the information that was blacked out by me was?
I'm presuming probably like your address and like ID numbers and shit like that.
Yeah, stuff that only the NHS or my GP would have access to, which is information I provided to them.
Mm-hmm.
And in this text, though, they spelled the AstraZeneca vaccine and they spelled it wrong. And
Okay.
I got about half a dozen comments, a couple of direct messages, and one email informing me of this fact, telling me it might be a scam. And I just think it's really, really like impressive that people's first response upon seeing that is not that this was a mass text sent out at the end of the day. So you can see in the screenshot that I showed, like it's sent at 4:30. So that's the end of the workday. So hurriedly sent out by a nurse who is probably overworked from a spreadsheet she barely knows how to operate.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they're sending you, presumably, like, they have your address, your phone number, and your NHS number, I'm presuming, and yet they'd have all of that information, but still be, like, making the mistake of spelling something wrong for a scam.
Yeah. So it's like, what's more likely here, that an overworked nurse sending out a mass text made a spelling mistake, or it's a vast conspiracy from someone who already has all of my information, like enough information to impersonate me, I'm going to say, to steal more things from me by directing me towards a fucking medical center that's full of people and cameras. And that was just interesting to me to see, of like, if you think about it for more than 30 seconds, it's like, of course, like, just looking and see having blacked information out. Surely, like that. Surely you'd think that that's identifiable information you don't want to share online. It's like, no. This is clearly a scam from someone who already has all the information they'd need to scam you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's the weird thing, isn't it? If somebody has your phone number and your NHS number and shit like that, it's like they probably already have the ability to find out other parts of your information and just claim your identity on shit.
Yeah. I just found that really funny, and the amount of thankfully the amount of people like conspiracy theorists was like limited to about 2 or 3 people. Now, I'm not sure what it says about the audience, but most of them were limited to Instagram. It's like when I went and checked the Instagram comments, there was like 3 people in there being like, huh, you really think the vaccine's going to get deleted? Blocked.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No interaction with that person anymore. I have no time for this. I've not been able to hug my mum in a year. Fuck off. I've not got time.
Carl, the conspiracy theory I want to bring up, though, is what happened to the lonely dildo? Or where did the lonely dildo come
from? Okay, so Lucas, what do you know about the lonely vibrator?
All I saw was like the subtweet of that tweet being like, oh, I've queued up for my vaccine and I found a lonely vibrator on the floor.
Okay, so I'll set the scene. I arrived after like going to my GP and then getting the rigmarole of like, no, you need to go here, 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 and here. Okay, because I get an Uber and I go to the place and my Uber driver pulls up and he goes, the fuck is going on here? It's like, oh, it's the vaccine. Can you drive me to the end of the queue, please? And he drives like another minute to get me to the end of the queue, which is going like across 3 fucking streets. And it's into a building that is the size of my flat. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I guess I'm just stuck here for the long haul. And I wanted to take a picture of the line. And I did take a picture of the line and sent it to my mum, my girlfriend, and all that stuff. And I thought about posting it online. So I realized I'm going to be here for 2 hours.
And you're posting your location, essentially.
I cannot trust people on the internet not to try and turn up and say hello, even though I'm in a queue to get a fucking vaccine jab during a pandemic. But while I was just like the queue was going, I'm just sat listening to music, just standing, shuffling my feet, and the queue did go really quickly.
Yeah.
I just turned and there was an alleyway next to me, and just like a pink thing was on the floor. I'm like, "Fuck is that? Like, is that a vibrator?" Because no one had noticed it. No one's looking at it, and that is a vibrator. Definitely a vibrator. And I got my phone out and I like took a picture and I zoomed in and I thought, oh my God, it is. So I just took a photo. I was just so amazed that it's just there in the middle of the street.
Oh God, like, where do you think it came from, Karl?
I don't know. That's the thing. Because I remember like a couple of months after the pandemic, when we had that brief respite, and I went out for a jog and saw a condom on the floor. The classic thing you see after a night out of like the ripped condom wrapper. And I went, nature is healing. Someone got railed in an alleyway. That's definitely like Sheffield's getting back on track. We're just seeing just a presumably quite expensive fight. Because I don't know how much they cost, but I presume they cost more than the amount of money you'd be willing to drop out of your pocket and not go pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they cost a couple of quid. I know that much. But yeah, like it's weird to me because the only reason right now why I would assume that people are, having vibrators would be out in the wild would be to get delivered to people, who are indoors like 24/7. Like, who needs the pocket dildo?
And I'll be honest as well, that wouldn't fit in a pocket.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, that was not one of your like silver bullets or whatever they got. This was like a fucking just like Big Jim, Mister. You need to get the job done quick. This was like the Black and Decker power drill that you get out when like I'm not doing this by hand.
Yeah, the manual screwdriver ain't working. It's like, no.
Yeah, I need some fucking electric power to get this bastard done.
God.
And I just saw it as like, what a neat thing to see.
Yeah,
and someone in chat just said, and they've done that sarcastic SpongeBob thing, but I can 100% imagine this happening if I would have posted my location. Can I shake your hand, mate?
Oh yeah.
And someone would have done that.
Oh, can I have a hug? Can we have a selfie together? It's like, no, piss off, please.
I'm literally in the queue to get my vaccine.
I'm meant to be 6 foot away from you at all times.
And that's what I'll say. Everyone in the queue, social distance the entire way down.
Well, you would imagine that the people who were there to get vaccinated are taking this shit seriously.
Yeah, and the queue was, like, for as long as it was fucking rapid. Considering we went in, when I finally got in there, it was a building with 3 rooms in it with 3 nurses.
Just fucking going at it.
And they were fucking on it. Like, I sat down, I barely had time to give her my details. And the moment she finished that final stroke, I went, okay, name, done, information correct, boom, the needle's already in my arm. No chance to argue. It's like, pull it out, wiped it off, gave me the card, went, read this, you'll get a message in 11 weeks to come back. Done. Straight out the door. No messing around.
Well, that's good to hear that at least it's like being efficient and it's not a proper ball like to go get a vaccine, because I know that when it first came out, like my the first person I heard about going to get a vaccine, they were like, oh, I had to take my granny to go get her vaccine. And it was just completely just a mess. And like no one knew what was going on. It was one of the first days of doing vaccines, and I was like, this sounds really bad and really stressful and
really dangerous.
Really dangerous as well. And that is not the kind of environment that is going to, make people want to go get a vaccine if they're not really feeling up to it.
Yeah, when they're making, like, keep in mind as well, if I'd not ordered a takeaway yesterday and checked that phone that I don't like, so it's the only other time I check it is when me and you record, and we'd already finished recording.
Yeah.
And the text went out after we finished recording. So if me and my girlfriend had not ordered a takeaway yesterday and I'd got that phone out, I wouldn't have known that I could have gotten the vaccine, and I would have been one of those people who missed it.
And I guess for like people our age, that's probably not a usual thing, because most of us have our phones glued to our pockets at all times.
Pretty much, yeah. But
especially when the vaccines are going to people like older than us, like people who don't necessarily like have their phones on them all the time. Like, I know my nan doesn't walk around with her phone on her. Like, not all the time. She'll check it a couple of times a day or whatever. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine like how stressful it is. The idea that if I don't check my phone within this like 6-hour period, I might just miss needing to get the vaccine.
Yeah, and admittedly, they were doing it over the course of several days, and I just wanted to be one of the first ones in. I'm not messing about. I want it done. I want to get it over and done with.
Yeah.
I have complete trust in science that they've got this shit figured out.
Plus, Karl, you'll have 5G wherever you go to, so it's
That's
fine.
the best one, yeah. I've got like that portable 5G action.
I don't get it, because that's the weirdest thing, isn't it? Of like, they're trying to get 5G within everyone and trying to track everyone's. Your phones fucking track you all the time and listen to you 24/7. So what's your issue with that? Like, you've got a device that does that and you're fine with it. And B, it's like, but like 5G, it's like, mate, yeah, download speeds.
There's nothing more hilarious than people saying it's the government conspiracy to control you and track where you are from Twitter, from their iPhone, on Twitter from their iPhone, and also insisting that, it's a government ploy to instill obedience in you. I refuse to listen. Why are you refusing to listen? I saw a post on Facebook telling me not to. So you will listen to someone, but as long as they tell you that you're smart and special and that you should feel great for being smarter than everybody else and figuring this out.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure there's just a bunch of fucking like, cartoon comics and comic strips just making fun of those kind of people that you see all the time. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Of like, no, I'm not going to listen to what the government tell me. I'm not just blindly obedient like somebody else, as they're just being blindly obedient to a random post on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, that's just one of those legendary tweets that will go down forever. Just your parents 20 years ago. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. And then your parents today. And it's just like freedom.facebook told me Hillary invented AIDS. I think our friend Charlie hit the nail on the head, where it's people over 70 have like 80, 90% uptick on the jab. And then it cratered the moment you got to over 50s.
Yeah.
And our friend Charlie went, well, because people over 70 and over don't have access to the internet. And if they do, it's very limited and they only use very specific things. People over 50 have access to Facebook.
Yeah.
And they're fucking morons because they don't have the computer literacy to pass information on the internet. And then once it's going to get to people like 30 and over, it's going to go back up because that includes people our age who aren't fucking morons and have been convinced by Facebook.
And just people, I'd say, who are a bit more tech literate, who know like the kind of things to look out for that are dodgy anyway. So it's like,
freedom.facebook, that's the one. But that's been my adventure. Like, it was pretty good. I saw just the lonely vibrator, band name calling it. It's mine. I got my jab.
Screams like like Parks and Recreation, where Andy's constantly changing house rat's name. It's like Lonely Vibrator totally sounds like one of his band names right there.
Yeah, and so I presume tomorrow I'm going to feel like shit, but for the rest of this evening, I'm in good spirits. And I'm in really good spirits.
Stream later. That's
that's what I mean. For the rest of this evening, I'm going to be all right. But tomorrow, it's going to kick my ass.
Yeah, and for all the people that get worried about that, like, that's a good sign.
Yeah, it means my body's fighting it.
Yeah, it means that it's actually working, and you're not. I've seen a lot of people compare like that to being actually ill, and it's like, no, it kicks your ass a little bit, but it's nothing compared to having actual COVID, which is the entire point.
Not giving it to someone that you care about and killing them. Because I'll tell you what, you could be as healthy as a horse, but the knowledge that you killed a close family member, that shit's going to weigh on you.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just funny that there's some people going like, man, I've seen that like these people aren't feeling well the day after they get the vaccine. That's not safe. It's like, yeah, and that's a mild form of COVID. Imagine what real COVID's like to get, you fucking assholes.
Lucas, did you know that I feel like sore after I go to the gym, therefore exercise is bad?
Well, I've been campaigning for many years that exercise is awful for you, Karl.
No, how can exercise be good for me if it makes me feel? Did you know that vegetables don't taste very nice? How can they be good for me if they don't taste nice?
Things that are salty and fatty taste a little nicer, Karl.
So they're better for you, yeah. That's science. It's almost like sometimes you have to do things that you have to just have that bit of medicine. You've got to take that pill.
You do.
You got to eat that shit sandwich. I don't want to eat a shit sandwich. No one wants to eat a shit sandwich, but today's your turn.
I do wish they gave us a spoonful of sugar with the COVID vaccine.
I want a lollipop.
Yeah. Like, why does it stop being acceptable to get given a lollipop after you've been the doctors?
Mate, what do you think this is? This is my treat. I got a bath earlier as well. I got I put like fucking like muscle relaxant salts in my bath. It's like, yeah, enjoying it. But that's enough from me now. What have you been up to this week, mate?
Not too much. Not too much. I don't know if we've really mentioned it like on stream, but Nisha's had some like PC problems, so
yes, she has
mainly just like been editing a few more Fat Fiend videos than normal.
So yeah, Nisha's computer just up and died on her, and she had to send it off. And it's not something we announced on the channel because just doing that is automatically going to invite just the bad advice from people who think they're helping, but they're not helping. Because all I can imagine if we announce that is, oh, she thought about sending it off to get fixed. No, she was going to sit there just and not do work. So of course she's going to get it fixed, but like, it's an ongoing issue that needs to be solved. Yeah, her computer had broken. She couldn't edit, and she also couldn't record. Because she had no way of transferring like any audio she recorded to a device that would allow it to like be sent to us to edit. Which is an issue.
All of those people that don't like me on Fat Fiend videos, they're gonna have a treat for the next like 2 months.
No, it'll be in 2 months' time.
Well, in 2 months' time for about a month, maybe.
Yeah, because Nisha was not available to record videos.
Are gonna have a fun time.
And it's actually quite handy that my COVID vaccine happened now, because I'm going to be presumably out of action for a couple of days while I just get over whatever the side effects are. And it's just we're all going to take the weekend off just to allow us all to catch up on editing.
Yeah.
But we didn't announce it, and I don't think Nisha announced it because we just didn't want people saying, "Well, have you tried doing it?" Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no need, because all that happened was, look, I sent not me, but from Nisha's perspective, is like I sent it to someone that's going to fix it, and they're going to send it back. Job's done. It's just a matter of waiting.
What else am I supposed to do? And because it would be, have you tried do it? It's like, yeah. And so I just told Nisha, just take the time that you need, and once it comes back, we're going to take the rest of the week off for editing, and then get back to proper filming next week. Because as well, I need to go to the office, which can bring us to. I have a new office, which is not really a big deal for anyone who watches videos, because the videos will, in all likelihood, look exactly the same. With the exception,
when you sorted the office out,
yeah, with the exception of maybe some videos I might have to record next week, because I'm still in the same building, but I'm quite literally moving up in the world, because they're moving me to a higher floor, which has windows, and it's a bigger space. You've seen pictures of the space, haven't you, Lucas?
I've seen pictures of the building.
Oh, the layout. Yeah, I did take pictures when I went to see. I've got the keys now, but I forgot to send to the group chat thing. So I guess I can just do that now. It's as well. It's just a boring, empty room. So I'm not really sure what else you're supposed to say. But
I'm not going to be able to get much of a grasp on the space, because it will just be white, empty room. But yeah.
But I've just sent the picture to you now. You can have a quick have a look. But it's just a wider open space. That's from each corner of the room.
Cool.
Just so you can get a feel for what we have.
Oh God! Just all my messages are lined up. Like, why have I got 8 different chats on the 10 minutes?
It's okay, Lucas. It's okay. And then you know what? I'll send you the lonely vibrator as well. There you go. Because he just stands out so much. He's so pink.
That looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some giant, just floor to ceiling windows, which gives a lot more natural light. So whilst the videos will look the same, the lighting will, in all likelihood, be a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we'll have natural light pouring in. People are saying, no, the concrete green screen. That's already been done for a month. We've been recording in the original office for a month now.
Yeah.
It's just that we've had so many videos in reserve that we've not started editing those yet. So, mate, you're a month behind already. Already you're behind in the content. 'Cause you know what? We've got this shit on lock at the moment. And I'm going to be moving all of the sensitive and delicate things, just like the camera, all the computing equipment we've got, hard drives, t-shirts, stationery, that sort of thing. And then there's a porter going to come in and move all of the heavy stuff, like the desks, the chairs, the furniture.
Right.
But I'm not sure when he's going to be able to do that. So I might have to just stick the green screen just up vertically and then stand and not move. And then not move.
I kind of like it. if instead you put the green screen on the floor and just like
And
sat story time mode in
I
front
did
of the
think of
green
doing that as
screen.
well, so we'll have to figure something out. Maybe I'll put it on the floor and sit down, and we'll just have story time with Karl for a couple of episodes, or I'll stand it up vertically.
Yeah.
So that's something we need to figure out at the moment, and that's something I'm going to play around with next week when I have the space. But the idea is to fully kit that out, which is why we have this new camera setup for this video. It's just a trial of sorts to see would this work, and it evidently does.
Yeah.
It's much better quality, and the idea will be the new office. I'm going to buy sofas. I'm going to buy a new PC. I'm going to buy just big, comfy chairs for everything. Like I've already got a TV in there, but I'm also going to buy myself personally like a new Xbox, and then take my Xbox to the office. I'm going to get all the consoles in there, and it'll just be fully kitted out for streaming when we're all able to return to the office.
Hell yeah.
And so we can just crack straight the fuck on. And say if we're doing stuff like this, like when we're at the office, we'll have like big sofa, chair in the middle, all the stuff, professional looking camera. It's going to look great.
Hell yeah.
And that's just in anticipation of when we're all able to go back to the office. Because you know what? I feel we've had a good month or two with the start of the year. Just YouTube pushed a lot of our videos a lot harder than it normally does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take that money and invest it in just a better workspace for us all to hopefully make us feel better about not working from home. Because working from home is great, but I kind of want to get back to the office just because I miss the energy of recording in person.
Yeah, I know what you mean totally, and it's one of those things of we mention over and over again. Like we want to make sure we do it safely, wait till people are vaccinated and stuff. But yeah, like when we are able to do all that, I will
Safely,
really
yes.
enjoy it because recording in person is a completely different experience. Like, not sure if people understand or not, but it's not exactly the same when I'm just looking at an image of you through a screen.
Yeah, and even now with the podcast where I can see you, we still might have that that minor delay where we'll talk over each other, and we'll have that moment of like, sorry, mate, you can continue.
Yeah, totally. And it's so much harder during like fat theme recording or gameplay recording because we literally can't see each other, so we don't have that visual aid to give us an idea of they're winding down a little bit.
Yeah, and something that I would like to address because I posted about this just on the community tab on YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, cool. If people don't know, we're back at the office now, and I'm going to be upgrading all the office equipment. And it won't affect videos, but it's just a thank you for everyone who stuck with the channel since it started. And there was just a weird subset of comments on that. They're like, you don't have to work remotely just because the government tells you to. You can come into the office if you want. And it's like, you're acting like we didn't come to this decision ourselves, and that everyone on the channel doesn't have agency to make this decision for themselves. Because Lucas, you can confirm, right? You could, if you want to come to the office, you can, as long as we social distance and all that stuff. You just don't want to.
Yeah, especially when it's like a 2.5 hour train journey up to the office where I'm not just dealing with like social distancing from Karl, I also have to deal with the general fucking public.
Yeah. And I respect that. So there's no rush or push for you to come back to the office. It's going to be like whenever you feel comfortable, when you're able to. Mm-hmm. And presumably that's going to be when we all have our vaccine jab. But yeah, the amount of people who seem to think that we are being forced to work remotely instead of it is an active choice we are making for the sake of our own health and well-being and comfort.
I mean, the day I blindly listen to Boris Johnson's instructions, the day I'm not Lucas anymore.
Yeah, I'm making this is a decision we are all making independently for our own health and the health of those we care about.
Yeah, and it's one of those, especially like, again, like we're trying to follow government advice, but we understand that,
I'm trying to follow scientists' advice.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I can try and follow that advice, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to follow the science. And as much as we can understand the science and as much as, just being cautious about everything because why not when we can be cautious about it?
Yeah, I can. And the position that we're in does afford us a great degree of freedom to do things like work from home. And I feel like such a prick as well. It's like, no, you have to come back to the office. Why? Videos are getting the exact same views they always do with editing, everything fine. There's no issues.
Yeah.
And plus, would you really want to do that to placate weirdos who want you to risk your own health for the sake of their entertainment? No, fuck
exactly. And the thing is, we always say, like, okay, well, if somehow we figured out that actually there is no risk in me going to visit you, that this was all some weird conspiracy. We didn't know that at the time, and I'd rather, like, try to be as safe as possible. If it did somehow in some alternate universe where, oh, actually, going on a train and seeing you in person is safe, like, who cares? We're trying to just be as safe as we know we can.
Yeah, that'd be the thing, wouldn't it? Like, oh, what about if it's all fake? And it's, oh no, I made decisions, like I made selfless decisions that I thought would help others.
Yeah.
Oh no, what does that say about you as a person? It's like, oh no, you actively chose to make selfless decisions for the benefit of others to safeguard the health and well-being of strangers. What an idiot you are! How caring about other people.
It's so bizarre, isn't it? Of like, okay, well, what if masks don't work? Well, I just had to wear a mask for 20 minutes on my face while I was at the shop.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's like, and as well, the thing is, I think we talked before, it's they don't protect you from the virus. They protect other people from you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're getting to the point where someone's arguing that they don't care, there's no argument. Like, why would you even continue that conversation? Because their entire argument boils down to, I don't care about other people. I only care how it impacts me.
Yep. At that point, I just say, how do you argue with that?
No, you can't argue against that level of self-delusion and entitlement. It's because they're always going to win.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, but I want to be selfish. It's like, okay, then you win, I guess.
You almost have to respect that level of selfishness.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And there's not really much to say about it, other than like they're just fucking morons and they're not worth entertaining.
But you know what? We'll figure it out and we'll do what we feel is like good and comfortable for us.
Yeah, and I'm happy for you to keep doing that, which apparently makes me an idiot. So the another one I got as well, I actually got a dude saying, why are you getting a bigger office? You should just keep recording in your home. It's like, fuck you, I do what I want.
Yeah, and like, oh no, I want to use my success to have a more comfortable lifestyle and have a cooler office space. And
plus as well, it's going to directly benefit all the viewers, because when we're able to get back to the office, like this new space is going to be fully kitted out for streaming for more interactive content.
Yeah,
that is the plan. Obviously, we can't do anything with it now, but while it's cheap and while I've got all this fucking free time, I may as well just prepare for it. Because as well, I think just for me, I feel like this is a turning point. It's like, I've got the jab, I've got the new office, it's all happening just round about the same time.
Yeah.
So for me, this feels like just the turning point in this pandemic where things are going to start getting back to some level of normalcy.
Mm-hmm. The new normal, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and like as well, it'd be nice when I go record, even if I'm recording on my own, to have natural light coming into the office.
That is true, yeah.
Plus, as well, I want to get a coffee machine, because that means if I buy a coffee machine for the office, I can bring my coffee machine from home. I'm technically not allowed to do this. I want to bring my coffee machine from home and take the new coffee machine for the office and put that in my house. So I want to get a coffee machine for the office as well.
Nice, yeah.
I'm going to get a coffee machine, mini fridge. We're going to get a mate. It's going to be fucking swag as well.
I can't wait for like to finally get back to the office and like come in. It's like, oh, cool. There's a coffee machine. Oh yeah, it's £2 per use, mate. Like what? No.
I'm going to make that profit back some.
Yeah, there's a vending machine. Everything's triple price. It's like,
yeah. No, the thing as well I'm waiting for is someone to say, can we have an office tour? It's like, no, because the instant I point this camera out the window, someone's going to figure out where we are.
Exactly where you are. Like, I can instantly, knowing Sheffield, look out that window and know where that office is.
And someone's going to turn up and ask for me, and I don't want to deal with that.
No.
And that's a weird thing, isn't it? Where just insisting on your privacy is, for some reason, a controversial statement if you're a YouTuber. Because have you seen any of the blowback I've had to this?
I've seen bits on Twitter of the conversation, but I don't know what the impetus for the conversation starting was.
Okay, well, one of the videos that went out recently, because that's the thing, we record so far ahead, where I don't know when certain videos will come out.
Mm-hmm.
And we mention, things related to the channel and our personal lives in videos, and every now and again, stuff like that will filter back to me on social media or what have you. But I have no context for it because it's a video I recorded months ago.
And you forgot that you recorded and what you said, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw it go up 1 month ago, and then watched it then just to make sure there's no mistakes or anything that I would have added to it or changed. And I've not thought about it since, and I don't know the exact day it's going to go up. And there was one that went up where we had a discussion at the end about the idea of people just continually trying to track us down and contact everyone in regards to the channel, and specifically try and track down and contact me and ask things like my address or where I work, or like, how to meet me personally. And in one case, someone asked my brother for my phone number.
Oh, and yeah, I remember you mentioned that one, yeah.
And I mentioned all that in the video, and I mentioned briefly that people have often asked us to get a PO box, and I've turned that down. So I don't want to give people the option or ability to send me dildos in the post that I have to pay to get delivered to my house. Just sounds like a bad idea, doesn't it?
I mean, you've already got your lonely vibrator, Karl.
I know, I saw that.
That's free.
That's the thing, you can just find them on the floor growing wild. You don't need to get sent them. And I'm not sure about you, but I have seen many a podcast I've listened to many a podcast and seen many a video and many a post from a content creator who's tried a PO box and almost immediately shut it down because people cannot be trusted to might be sensible. It's like, I think the best friends got sent a box of live ladybirds in one of theirs. It's like, because that's the thing you can send in the mail. So they got a box of live ladybirds, and that's just not something you want to have to deal with.
No, not really.
So have you had any experience with that, or like any podcasts you've listened to, just people mention it? Yeah, we had a PO box and people sent this.
No, like the only, like, I've not really experienced many people doing that, but like I've briefly heard people mention it, and it's like clearly when it's YouTube companies that have like a dozen staff members and one person's job is to just go through all that stuff and filter out the bad stuff that never gets brought up. So I think it's not as bad, I guess, for those people because they have a specific person hired to deal with stuff like that.
And we don't, but in either way, if I say I don't want the thing, I don't want it.
That should be the end of the argument is, well, I don't want it. Oh, okay. Cool. That should be the conversation entirely. Karl doesn't feel comfortable having a PO box.
Cool. Yeah, but I got sent. There was a lot of blowback to that, which culminated in. I'll track it down now, because I just got a very, very angry message on that. Like someone was very upset at the idea that I don't want fans to have the ability to send me things in the post.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, okay, but some people want to send nice things. Well, that's great. What do they lose out? Like, I don't understand what they lose out on. Is like the idea of not having to spend money and send you something.
But we have it here. So this was in response to me just saying like, look, I don't want a PO box or anything like that. So I know he doesn't care, and legit, no one cares. But this whole thing has made me legitimately dislike Karl. He comes across as such an asshole. Like, I get not wanting to give out your address. Of course, duh, if anyone wants that, they're an idiot and an asshole. And also they spelled these the wrong there. I get not unblocking folk if they piss you off. And I get getting annoyed that they are trying to hassle your friends or family. Again, assholes. But the smugness that he says he doesn't want to do this YouTuber thing, in quotes, like, dude, you are a YouTuber. And I don't want memes or jokes from my fans. I don't want a PO box for gifts. Like, fuck you, dude. These people are your fans. The same fans you claim to work so hard to cultivate. They will follow you when 5 fingers away. Guess what, Karl? People follow you because you are a YouTuber. Get off your high horse, seriously. And I simply responded, I am entitled to a private life.
Yeah, 100%.
And to my knowledge, that thread was like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, according to his tweet, and that guy is still arguing with people in the comments.
Oh, of course, yes.
About his, him being misinterpreted. But Lucas, thoughts?
Just like
chat as well, thoughts.
Yeah, like weigh in chat, because I don't understand the mindset of like, well, Karl doesn't like this aspect of quote unquote YouTube culture, or like doing the YouTube thing, as you've clearly said in that video. Like, okay, that's Karl pointing out I don't enjoy that aspect of the job, and because we get to set our own boundaries and our own ways of doing these things, because it's our own decisions. That's part of being a YouTuber, is running things however you would like to run the channel. It's like, you've clearly stated, I don't like this part of the normal YouTube thing, I'm not going to do it. No, fuck you, you have to do it like everyone else. It's like, why do we have to do it like everyone else? Clearly that shouldn't be the point of YouTube. You should be able to do whatever you want.
Also, Lucas, just you are obligated that if I want to send you a meme, you have to look at it because you owe me, because I am your fan. Also, if I want to send you post to your house that you then have to read and thank me for, I should be able to do that because I am your fan.
Yeah, I saw. I think I replied to one tweet where it's like, "Oh, all you have to do is look at a picture from a fan. How is that hard?" And I just replied something along the lines of, "What those people don't remember is that it's not looking at one picture from one fan. It's looking at, you know, dozens of pictures, hundreds of pictures from fans over and over again, like for the foreseeable future of your life, and presumably having to spend some of your time replying to some of those as well."
Yeah, and then as well, if I do reply, am I replying in the right way? Because I don't reply to messages as often as I used to, because obviously just the amount of stuff I have on my plate now is just so much greater, and it takes so much more of my time. But even when I did, I would get the occasion, like if someone sent me a message, oh, cheers, thanks. It'd be like, is that it?
Yeah.
What else am I supposed to say? We don't have any I don't know how to respond to something like this because it's very personal, and I'm British.
Yeah. We're not
And
great
that
with
doesn't,
that kind of stuff. And it's
yeah, and that,
similar to like the PO box where what if someone sends you like, I don't know, a really, really super expensive bottle of whiskey?
mhm.
Because oh yeah, Karl drinks whiskey on the channel. Like, I'll send him this £200 bottle. It's like, what are you meant to do other than go, like, thank you?
Yeah, like what is the correct response to receiving that? Which brings us up to I just posted that. I'm just like, look, why is this a thing I've got to deal with? Why is me asking for my privacy such a big deal? Someone decided to chime in and they said, and I quote, "You're entitled to a private life, but," and you know it's a good one where it's like they say something that is completely non-controversial, like you're entitled to your private life, but
It's like, I know you're right. However,
have you thought about it this way? I feel you really don't care about any of your fans at all. Don't become a YouTuber if you're incapable of showing any sort of appreciation for the people who become fond of you. And Lucas, thoughts? As someone who knows all the effort that goes in behind the scenes to ensure that the channel runs the way that it does, and from personal experience, from knowing me and seeing like my direct feedback on decisions made in regards to the channel, like just thoughts.
like, I don't get that because, I mean, from a purely YouTube aspect, did like a lot of the time you make decisions where we're not going to cram mid-roll ads in, we're not going to do end-roll ads, we're not going to take shitty sponsors that I don't approve of. Like, you're going to do sponsors in, a bit more of like a personal level, a bit more choosy way. Like, you're not going to just take every single sponsor that comes to you. So that's just in terms of the viewing experience. Like,
Yeah,
you're
those are
not just
decisions made purely for the fans because I, as a like frequent user of YouTube, hate those things and thought to myself when I first started on the platform, well, if I hate these things, presumably everyone else does too. So why would I put something into my videos that I would personally find off-putting? Even though I know from working behind the scenes and seeing that aspect of the culture, it would make me like I want to say 10 times more money. I would be close to a millionaire at this point if I sold out as hard
I
as some YouTubers have.
saw someone on YouTube a while ago complaining about like the blowback with mid-roll ads and stuff, and basically said, look, if I can get a mid-roll ad into my video, that video will make 3 to 4 times the amount of money. Please leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I get that side of things. I understand that, yeah, like as a YouTuber, you might be sitting there and going, look, for the sake of one mid-roll ad, like I make so much more money, I think it's worth the payoff. And that's your choice to make as your creator running your channel. Like, that's your video. But yeah, like the idea that you don't have them in means you are losing out on what sounds like a lot of potential money.
I'd be a millionaire probably.
And people need to understand that side of things. And we're quite open in discussions about that on the channel.
Every time, yeah. Every time it gets brought up, always mention it. And I do that because, again, if I was watching a channel and I saw they had a sponsor or they had received a windfall from a sponsor, I'd want to know where that money's going. And I would feel it'd be disingenuous. And if they didn't tell me where it was, I'd assume that there are some shenanigans afoot behind the scenes. Like, for example, I always make sure to mention that sponsor money gets split evenly between all of my editors. Because you help make the channel what it is.
Yeah,
and I want to clarify that, because if I didn't say it out loud, if I didn't see someone say that out loud, I presume it wasn't the case.
Yeah, and that's how most YouTube channels are run. Is like anyone that isn't the person running the channel, or like the people running the channel, I suppose, depending on the channel. Anyone who's ancillary to that, have like editors, people making artworks, things like the moderators, blah blah blah. Like, they are not seen as like part of the channel, therefore just get paid what they get paid.
Yeah, a flat rate, and I don't think that's fair, especially when some of those people do actively contribute to the success of the channel in a quantifiable manner. And I just responded to that, and I'm deadly serious about this. And it is like, how much more of myself am I expected to put out there for people to think that I'm grateful for the success that I have?
I also want to point out as well, that we started doing the podcast on stream. We started doing streaming it. Well, you started doing streaming in general, like to be able to talk to your fans a bit more, and you do Q&A at the end of a lot of your streams as well.
At the end of almost every stream, I have an hour of Q&A if people want to talk to me.
And as well, like the Fat Fiend live event, which the plan was to do more of, to interact with fans.
Yeah.
But no, apparently you don't give a shit about them.
I went out of my way to talk to every single person there. And then we want to host more live events. I'm even spending thousands of my own pounds to kit out an office for streaming, so that the entire channel can interact with our community and fan base more.
But Karl, why don't you stop dunking on fans? Why do you hate everybody so much?
Why can't I send you mail? And someone as well made a really creepy point in response to that. It's like, all I need to do is send you a GPS tracker and they know where you live. And it's like, the fact that that's even a thought that popped into your head means it's the thought that pops into someone else's head, and that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Or GPS tracking butterflies. Oh, homing pigeon. And it just flies back.
But the thing is, say for example, they sent you a plushie toy. How do you know that they haven't stitched one into a plushie toy?
Or wipe the dick on it.
I mean, that, I do that all the time, Karl.
It's plus as well. If one person sends me a plush, okay, cool, that goes on my shelf behind me. That shelf's looking pretty full, and it's already full of gifts from my, friends and family. What's going to happen when I get 50 fucking extra things to put on that shelf, and then I've got to start throwing stuff away? And then I'm going to feel like a prick for throwing away stuff that I did not ask for.
Yeah, and I watch quite a few YouTube channels and stuff, and they often talk about oh, I've got this little trinket from a game that a company sent me, and I kept this one thing out of the collector's edition, which means that 90% of that collector's edition or whatever has just been thrown away, because they can't keep everything they get sent, because otherwise they would just have a fucking Smaug's hoard of shit that they're just sitting on.
It's possible I live here with my girlfriend, and I don't want her to have to live in a place where just the entire flat is just a monument to my fucking ego.
Yeah.
I want us to feel like we live here together. This is our place. I want it to feel like, we live here. It's not one of the reasons I got the office in the first place. I don't want to feel like my work is consuming every aspect of my life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that's why I've, when we've moved houses, it's nice to have this separate office room where this is my space for work, and this is my space to, have whatever I want on display, even regarding stuff to do with the channel. But then I don't want to sit there and in my living room have a bunch of my own fucking merch sitting there or whatever. It's it's a bit of I guess a good way to get out of that mindset of oh, I'm at work. And
it is. And Lucas, this is a dead horse. This is a horse that it's I think by now we're just playing xylophone on the ribs of the skeleton of the horse.
I think we might be, yes.
Yes. So I would like to shift gears quickly. And would you like to hear a bad hot take? Because I as I often do, I've been trawling the internet for bad takes for us to talk about on the podcast. And I've got one here that I think is just going to elicit a very specific response from you. Hopefully in the form of just a noise for the audio listeners. I'm going to read out just the title of a thread here, and just feel free to react. Just initially with just a noise that gives away your mood, and then we can discuss it further. So, is Animal Crossing New Horizon as bad and incomplete as a lot of people say that it is? Question mark.
Oh no. Like what? I've never even heard this take before.
That's the thing. That is the layers of that take, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
not that. Is Animal Crossing incomplete? It's like, is it as incomplete and bad as people? So presumably, I've never heard, like yourself, I have never heard anyone say anything bad about that game. I have only heard complete, just unwavering praise for it.
Like the only issues that I've heard and like commonly brought up are like, oh well, if you want to play online with multiple people, like having to watch every person like come in and out of your island is a ball ache, and the menus take a while to get through. Like, I've never heard it's a really awful and incomplete game. Like, there is so much crammed into that fucker.
I was about to say, one of the few things I know about that game is that it is so difficult to complete your collection because it is intended to be collected over the course of an entire year.
Yeah.
Because it has actual seasons built into the game where some of the things you can collect can only be caught in certain seasons.
And even month to month, there'll be a list of here's like the bugs and fish coming in and out of rotation because, you know, that's when those bugs are active in real life.
And there is an entire like museum that you can fill up with animals and fossils, and then there's an entire island, and there's like hundreds, or is it like just nearly 100 villagers?
There's like hundreds of villagers, not 100. Like, then there's also thousands of items with variations, and it's like, oh, that game is crammed. And then there's like free events, free seasonal events, free seasonal updates to the game. Like, they're still building upon it, and that is one game I cannot understand how you could call that incomplete.
Is it as bad as incomplete as a lot? And the thing is, though, this isn't a headline on like IGN. This is a forum post.
Yeah, of course.
So this isn't somebody trying to be contrarian on like a website to get clicks on their article. This is a genuine complaint because like the actual thread is just a guy saying, oh yeah, I've heard a lot of people say it's bad, and then everyone like, you fucking moron, what are you talking about?
Like, sorry, what? Like, okay. Yeah. The Nightmare Bunny does exist, but he's no longer, you know, it's no longer Easter. We don't have to worry about Zipper for another year. But the game's so fucking good.
It's so dense as well, from my understanding.
Yeah.
But just that thing of just, is it as bad? It's like, no, it's not.
No. Like, there's a reason that millions, like dozens of millions of people have spent their last year in quarantine just inside that game.
Because it's so fucking good. And one of the reasons I don't have it is I'm scared. I'm scared that it would become my new forever game, like Monster Hunter did.
The thing is, like, I feel like I haven't played that game very much compared to a lot of people I know with the game. And I've got my Switch right behind me, like you can see on the cam. So I'm going to grab it and see how many hours I have logged in compared to the very small amount of time I've put in, you know, in comparison.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious about this as well. Is my Switch behind me? No, it's not. My Switch is in my bedroom. So I was going to do the same thing with Monster Hunter, but I don't think I'll be able to do that without leaving the room and making a bunch of mess and noise.
So Stitch is no longer playing on the Switch, I'm afraid.
Okay, so Stitch's Switch is gone. What we got?
So I'm going on to my profile now.
Also, this is a great feature. I want more games to have this, or more systems to tell you how many hours you played with a specific game.
So, you know, I've played Animal Crossing New Horizons for 220 hours or more.
So, Lucas, an incomplete game.
A very incomplete game. And as I said, I feel like compared to the amount I've seen other people consume that game around me, I know, for example, my girlfriend Jenna has got at least 500 hours in that game. And I'm just like, I can't understand how you could call a game where you can like live in that world for that long and go, yeah, incomplete game.
Because that's the thing where I mentioned, I think the last time we streamed, I mentioned that I played Monster Hunter, and Monster Hunter Rise does not have an end game. It does not have an end of the game.
They added some new stuff yesterday, right?
Yesterday, which I'm going to be checking out soon, probably tonight or tomorrow when I'm like, just when Kobe's kicking my ass.
Like, kick the monster's ass while you're getting kicked it.
And when that happened to me, I looked at my playtime and saw like 150 hours and went, yeah, I am a minority case for this happening, because presumably no one's going to get this far this quick, because they are bringing out the ending next month, but people were legit getting angry that, what do you mean I've played 250 hours and there's nothing else to do? It's like, you've got 250 hours of entertainment out of this game in less than a week. You're like, that's a good deal. You got your money's worth.
Really, really like screams out to me as a veteran Destiny player of like, oh, the new content is out. Well, I've played solid for 2 weeks, and I've played for hundreds of hours, and now I've got nothing left to do. What the fuck, Bungie? Where's the game?
So it was a free update that you got like 400 hours of entertainment out of. What the fuck are you wrong with? What's wrong with you?
I do find it funny though that of all games to launch without an end game, and like, you know, the plan is, oh, we'll update it over time and give you an end game later when you've like done when you're done with this content. It's like, Monster Hunter, really? Like, that is a dedicated ass fan base right there that is gonna plow through that game.
They have, yeah, and so have I. I've got, all I've done is, grind the end game monsters that exist at the moment. It's like, get equipment, presumably because the next few drops are going to be like, it's going to be just a huge step up in difficulty.
Yeah, presumably, and I saw as well, like, I don't know what this means, but I guess they put like an armored layer system in the new update, which means you'll have to like presumably spend more time grinding out monsters to get full sets of armor.
It's just so you can make your character look more distinct and unique.
That's what it sounded like, and that sounds appealing to me. 'Cause I don't know what that meant 100%, but I was like, that sounds like something I would enjoy getting put in the game, like more armored layers and stuff.
Anything to make your character look more distinct, I'm down.
100%, and like,
I
would like to get into Monster Hunter Rise, but
no, you don't. Don't get into it, Lucas. It'll consume your life.
Well, that's the issue. Is I already have games that consume my life, and I'm I'm playing like the start of Monster Hunter World slowly with some friends, but yeah, I think the one game that I'm gonna stick end game wise with will be Destiny, but might be fun to like get through the campaigns and.
As someone who's played hundreds of hours of Monster Hunter, probably thousands at this point, like all in all, don't get into it. Because like if you're playing Destiny, you do not have time to play Monster Hunter.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because right now in Destiny, it's like, well, you've got like 6 weeks maybe at the end of the season where you've got a bit more of a lull, and you only need to hop in for like a few occasional bits unless you're really dedicated. So like, I feel like right now I could comfortably get into Monster Hunter, but then in like 2 weeks' time when the new Destiny update arrives, there's going to be like 2 months where I'm all back in on Destiny, and maybe I'd have to like figure out a system where I have like a roller coaster of Monster Hunter going into Destiny as like the updates go in and out of one another.
Yeah, and so sticking in that vein, Lucas, like what is like one of the more entitled things, or so one of the more entitled things, yeah, I got it right, that you've heard come out of the mouth of a video game player, a player of the video games? Because you mentioned like as a Destiny player, you've legit. So this is something you've legit seen Destiny 2 players complain about, that they've got hundreds of hours of entertainment out of the product, and they're like, "But what the fuck?"
On like a tri-monthly basis, because there's a new season roughly every 3 months, and after the first 2 weeks of content, that like argument swells back up, and like, I didn't get enough out of this game that I play every single day of my life. I'm gonna complain on Reddit, and it's like, are you still playing the game every day of your life? Well, yeah, but I'm still gonna complain about it on Reddit. Like, fuck off.
So those legendary Steam reviews, isn't it? Like, it's okay, 5,000 hours on record.
I saw one getting spread around recently of like, 5,638 hours played of the game. Dislike this game, would not recommend.
That's obviously sarcastic. Those are great.
I don't know if that is, or whether it's the case of like a Destiny player where one new update has come out and they've gone, oh, I don't like this change. Fuck this, I'm gonna dislike it.
That is potential as well, because like maybe they don't realize that it shows how much they've played.
Yeah.
Oh, but like, and for me, like I've been getting way deep into my Mortal Kombat. And I like love Mortal Kombat 11. I've been like really getting into watching it as well, because of all the companies of all the fighting game companies at least, NetherRealm fucking support the shit out of tournaments for their game.
Oh yes,
and there is at the moment like a ongoing Mortal Kombat series of tournaments that are being held worldwide. So they've been held in like different, like they've been held in the EU, East and West, the US, East and West, Latin America, and Oceania. pretty much the entire world, and there are like concurrent tournaments that are eventually going to culminate in like a world tournament of like the best of the best of the best. And they are putting like thousands and thousands of dollars into that, and then every time there's like always like they'll always reach out to like smaller local tournaments, and they'll put their fucking money on it because you know what, we want more people playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
we'll put our money where our mouth is, and just being in that world and the amount of people complain, like, yeah, but where is Combat Pack 3? So they've already released 20 extra characters for the game, including like getting the rights for RoboCop, Rambo, the Terminator, and all that bollocks. And then they've got those 3 characters into the game, and they look fucking flawless. Like they are like pitch perfect, like what their original source material is. And then they've got all these like fan extra characters, and they've all got like a bevy of new moves, like this variation system that lets every character play differently. There is at least 50 different costumes for every single character in the game. There are over like 2 hours of unique interactions between each character for every character. So there's like 40 hours of unique interactions, a full-fledged story mode. It's like, yeah, but where's Reptile? And it's like, fucking hell, how much more entertainment and support could this game, like, how much more entertainment could you get from this game, and how much more support could the company be giving it, and you're still fucking bitching?
Well, I mean, that reminds me of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate complaints. Of like, we've literally brought every single fighter back, including all the third-party picks. We've got new third-party picks, like fucking Sephiroth in there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, but where's Waluigi?
Yeah, we've got over how many hours of music are in Smash Bros. Now?
There's over 1,000 tracks of music in Smash Bros.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 tracks, all of which are phenomenal, because like some of the, like they're all either super high quality, like original tracks from video games, or just phenomenal remixers using one of the best in-house bands I think belong to any studio out there.
Yeah, and it's like, for example, this is a bit of like a outlier in that case, but I guess like look at, for example, Terry Bogard, and like the fighter pack for Terry Bogard costs you like what, $3.99, and it includes Terry Bogard the fighter himself from like Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, I think, like
his stage
100% fight is King of Fighters stage, and then like 50 plus tracks, including like I think 19 original remixes made by like the Smash Bros. Orchestra.
So a full album, no, several albums worth of music. So a full album's worth of original music, and then several albums worth of just really fucking good SNK music.
And it's a catalogue of SNK music over the years as well. Like, and people, yeah, but I think we could get a bit more support for this game. Really, like, where's X character that's really like my favorite one? Like, where's Waluigi? Where's Gino? I'm like, are you looking at this content and going, I need more? Like, how? I don't understand.
So every time that we play it on stream, someone will go, oh man, what character do you want added to it? And our answer is always the same. And what is it, Lucas?
It's just, at this point, it doesn't really matter because I've got everything I want in this game anyway.
There are 80 characters already. What the fuck more can I ask for? Like, asking for anything else at this point just feels greedy.
And I checked the other day, and we've played, like, on my Switch, like, 7,000 matches of that game.
Yeah. It is like, the forever game.
I don't care. Like, I've got 7,000 matches out of this one singular fighter. Like, I don't care who the next fighter is that they've added, because they've given me enough.
Yeah, anything they put in is just going to add more longevity to this video game that I'm going to play the absolute ever-loving shit out of for presumably the next several years.
Yeah, and every single Fighters Pass, as long as they want to put Fighters Pass out, I will buy it without knowing who it is, just to give them money for giving me this fucking game.
And, add more variety and just bullshit to the game, because every new character just adds a whole bevy of potential interactions that can happen in what is essentially one of the most comprehensive physics sandboxes in a video game since, like, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah, because you got to think about the fact that every character has, like, unique moves with unique properties that then have to interact with every other character's unique moves and unique properties. And there's, like, 80 characters in the game. Yeah. And then you can add, like, items into the mix. You can add up to 8 players into the fights. Like, there's so fucking much going on.
And someone in my chat sums it up very succinctly. Like, you've been streaming it for months. It's never the same stream. And ourselves, we have said, I say at least once per stream. Actually, we've streamed it at least 50 times since lockdown began. That is something we have literally never seen before in the thousands of games that we played.
Yeah.
Almost every time we play the game, there is something brand new we have never seen before, due to like an obscure interaction on a single stage that happens, and we can never replicate it because you can't replicate the series of things that led to that moment. It's like fucking hell, and then be like, yeah, but where is Master Chief? It's like he's fucking on his way. He's busy.
He'll be
in it
being
eventually.
In Fortnite, fucking hell.
Yeah, he's too busy drinking his fucking energy drinks.
Oh god. I absolutely adore the fact that like Halo Infinite marketing just like they've clearly made deals throughout the past year, like to come out over the past year. So
in
like
anticipation of,
and even post release, like to keep pushing the game, and you like every couple of months you'll see like, oh, this new Master Chief game, like, or this new Master Chief thing. I went into like the local shop and it was like, oh, here's a tube of Pringles with Halo Infinite
Master Chief on it.
I was just like, all right then.
That reminds me a little bit. My girlfriend, because when she went to Japan, she purposely grabbed as many things as she could that say on them Japan 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
No.
Because you think eventually they're going to be collector's items.
Yeah.
It's like the Olympics, that never happened. So we've got like a bunch of stuff just in the other room that's like Tokyo Olympics 2020 on them. It's like, oh, no, it's not.
I love that shit. Yeah.
It's great. I was so like, good, you can give me a t-shirt. I wanted a t-shirt that's like Tokyo 2020, like an official one, but I couldn't find one.
That's the thing is, like the money's already been put down to put all these things into production, and like these things take fucking weeks and months and like contracts to go through and blah blah blah. Like these are not things that you can simply go, shit, we've delayed the game or we've delayed the Olympics. Like just stop. It's like no, it's been done. It's too late.
These are things that took years to set in motion. It's very difficult to stop it, and if you do, it's going to cost more money than if you just put it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like you're not going to convince Pringles. Like, well, we can still sell the Pringles. We don't care if like the code you put on them to redeem for Halo Infinite fucking double XP weekends isn't valid. That's your fucking problem. We'll just sell them for £1.
The thing is, Karl, you kind of annoy me though, because I remember them saying that all those codes will be valid when the game comes out, and I didn't note down my Pringles code. God damn it. Missing out on whatever the fuck that Pringles code was.
Oh, man. The thing is I love about Pringles is I like them so much I can't eat them because I know. And the thing is, when it comes to Pringles, like it's dangerous for me because I know that the amount of them I would eat, I'd measure in feet and inches.
Once you pop, Karl.
Yeah, you can't stop.
You can't stop.
I know that I could like smash like 3 tubes of Pringles and have around Christmas time. Like my mum always buys like all the tubes of Pringles and the boxes of chocolates and stuff, and I will smash so many tubes of Pringles when I'm at home.
Apart from like, we've got one friend that like brings like pretty much every single like occasion a tube of just plain salted Pringles.
What the fuck is he doing?
Never wants the plain salted Pringles. And leaves them alone and just like, yeah, this is my contribution. I'm gonna go get all the good flavors. And then the unopened plain Pringles just stay with us, and we're like, oh.
I respect that. But I kind of wish, like they sold a worse flavor, like flavorless. Do you know that joke, like in The Simpsons, where Flanders has ice cream that has no flavor? Like he doesn't even get vanilla; he gets flavorless ice cream. I want to buy that. I want to know.
I get the argument that people will make about, yeah, but if you go into like a party or an occasion or whatever,
it's the plain flavor.
It's the plain one that you bring, so you're not going to offend anyone by bringing it. But it's like, okay, but realistically, in this group of 10 people, you don't want it. So how many other people do?
It's like, yeah, no one's ever going to be upset with vanilla ice cream, but at the same time, people also not going to be upset with chocolate ice cream.
And people probably aren't going to go for the like plain ice cream either.
And you know what, Lucas? Fuck it, let's go. Right, most top tier flavor of crisps. So we did these ones with biscuits, I think, last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And I want to like, and we're going to include all of crisp kind, with the exception of Pringles, which aren't crisps. People don't know the definition of a crisp is like for Americans, like that's a chip for you. It has to be made of sliced and then fried potato. Pringles are not crisps or chips because they are mashed potato that is flattened and then baked.
Oh, okay.
So Doritos also do not count as crisps.
They're all tortilla chips, yeah.
Yes, they are, yeah. So with that caveat out of the way, Lucas, what for you is the most top tier of top tier crisps. Like if you can have any bag of crisps going, what are you going to pick?
Now, the thing to me is, like, are we going for top tier in terms of, like,
Just to you.
what
Like
do
we can
I
go.
want? Like,
Yeah.
what one bag would I want? Or is it the what bag would I always pick every time? And the one that I
No.
would pick every time, like, consistency-wise, is salt and vinegar.
Okay, so salt, but what brand of salt and vinegar? Because they're not all the same.
They're not, but the thing is, I vary because, like, sometimes I'm, like, really in the mood for, like, McCoy's salt and vinegar. Because
the big old ridges, yeah?
they're really, like, got a real tanginess to them. But then sometimes I'll go for, like, you know, a bit of a fancy one, like a kettle chips. And they're, like, the sea salt and balsamic vinegar. And they've got, like,
Okay, yeah,
a bit
get
of a
fancy.
different taste to them. And, like, depending on the day, I would like a different variation of salt and vinegar.
Okay, so what I'm going to go for, I'm going to, like, specifically, the flavor is smoky bacon. And any variation of smoky bacon is my favorite flavor with the potential, like, just upset of cheese and onion if it's good cheese and onion. And I'll get to that in a second. But I'm going to specifically go for Golden Wonder smoky bacon crisps.
Oh,
And
yes.
if no one's out there has had the Golden Wonder smoky bacon crisp, they're one, fucking awesome. And two, they fill that bag to the fucking brim.
Mm.
And it has so much smoky bacon flavor on there. It is incredible.
Yeah.
And I just contend that is the most top tier of top tier crisp because it's the best flavor and it has the what you want, which is a shit ton of crisps and a shit ton of flavor.
Yeah, that is true. That's true.
Like nothing beats Golden Wonder smoky bacon, and you so rarely find them nowadays.
Well, one that I want to throw into the mix, I've just double checked the name of the flavor.
Okay,
it's again McCoy's because I'm a big fan of McCoy's. The Sizzling King prawn.
I've not had those.
Really nice, but you can't ever get them in like any of the multi-pack ones. You've got to get like the individual bags from like a corner shop or whatever.
Okay, I've not tried those, but
they are very nice. It's like them and like the sweet chicken ones that they do. Let's find
okay.
The Thai sweet chicken ones that they do as well. They're nice, but yeah, like the sizzling prawn ones are one of those that I never see them anywhere. So when I do see them, I'm like, oh, yeah, let's get a bag of those.
Enough, yeah. Right, and the other one I'm going to give shout outs to is the giant bags of sensations that you can get. And it is the mature cheddar and sweet chutney.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Alternately, it's just smoky bacon but fancy, which is the honey baked bacon or honey baked ham.
Yes.
Or maple bacon, which is really nice.
Bacon, yeah. So
and that's for me.
Let me get sensations flavors up because I need to double check the name of these ones as well.
Yeah, because the sensations, if people are wondering, these are just like they're crisp, but they make them slightly fancier flavors.
Again, so it's basically similar to like when I was saying with the like the sea salt and balsamic vinegar kettle chips.
Salt and vinegar.
Yeah.
Like kettle chips also are fucking awesome. So kettle chips like way up there.
When we're on the sensations train, want to recommend to you the Japanese sweet wasabi and ginger.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add these now. The thing is, I know that I can smash crisps like no one's business.
Oh, Karl,
so that's why. Gone. Oh god, no! The camera must have run out of battery. It must have run out of battery. Because that's one of the things we were testing today. Is does the USB? So you can still hear me, yes?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Both phones still hear me. Okay, yeah. One of the things we were testing is how long does the battery last?
Ah, okay.
Because we're not sure if the camera, when it's plugged in via USB, does the battery inside get charged, and will it power itself under its own power or just from the USB power? And evidently,
live.
We found out live that is not the case, and I will, it seems, have to invest in the thing we have for the camera at the office, which is just a rechargeable battery pack that plugs in and never leaves the camera side. But yeah, I'm glad to have learned that information. That's why this was a test. And I can fix that now live if it's going to be something that bothers people, I suppose. I'm guessing that it's going to be. So for our audio listeners, I'm really sorry you're going to hear me clinkling and crankling with some stuff in the background. I'm going to be moving around the room as I try and get my old... there it is. Oh, God,
there we go, yeah. And I'll mention in my chat, like, sensations are, again, like, a fancier version of, like, normal crisps that you get over here. They're just like Walker's crisps. So essentially, if like American version is like Lay's.
Okay.
So they're just like the fancy version of those.
No, slightly fancier. So I'll quickly fix my webcam now.
When I say fancy, like fancy, because the end of the day, it's like potato crisps.
There we go. So Luke's my back.
You are back. The lines are back with you.
Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, so you can see like the drop in camera quality now.
You can,
you know what? We tried. We tested it. It worked.
It does work, but then you just need to obviously like sort out the battery problem. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Or only stream for an hour at a time.
That's a way to get around, isn't it? Like, oh, well, unfortunately, my camera's out. I'm gonna have to go.
Gonna have to go now, guys. Sorry about that. And Lucas, we talked about our favorite flavors, and now what I want to do is like similar to the biscuit argument, not argument, like discussion we had a year ago. Like, what would you say then is the most top tier flavor of crisp? Just in terms of if you offered somebody this crisp, like they're going to say yes. Like, what do you think has the most universal appeal of the crisp world? Because when it came to biscuits, I think we agreed that it's the chocolate digestive. Because while it's no one's favorite, or it's a few people's favorite, but nobody ever says no to a chocolate digestive. So what do you think is like the crisp equivalent of just like the chocolate digestive, in the sense that no one's ever going to say no when you offer them one of these crisps?
That is a good question, because like
crisps are way more subjective, I feel, aren't they? Crisps, they're savory.
Especially like, yeah, at least in Britain anyway, I feel like they're quite a divisive subject. And I feel
to
like
the point where
sometimes I would be like, you know, like a ready salted, you know, just a plain one, and then someone would be, well, why are you offering me a ready salted? Like, they're plain as fuck. But then you go, oh, do you want salt and vinegar or cheese and onion? And people are, oh no, they're way too strong, or a breathed smell.
Yeah, and that's why I think it might be smoky bacon, because before anyone cuts in,
like a meat flavor.
Because before anyone cuts in and says, "Well, isn't smoky bacon not vegetarian?" Here's the thing: in the UK, smoky bacon is vegetarian, has been for decades. Because one of the weird facts
depend on the crisps.
No, like one of the weird facts about crisps is that the artificial flavoring for bacon is vegan.
Oh, just specifically bacon. Okay.
The flavoring for bacon, all the meaty flavors, it's all basically the same thing in different quantities, is vegan. And the fact that used to be just bandied about a couple of years ago is no longer the case now, because they fixed it, is that crisps like salt and vinegar and cheese and onion were not vegan because they used an ingredient, like I think that was derived from the lining of a cow's stomach for one of the flavors.
Oh, right.
But they didn't do the same thing for smoky bacon. I believe all crisps are vegan now.
I think there are edge cases, because Jenna is vegetarian. I can't remember which brands, but I remember every now and then checking, and either it might be that they weren't veggie, or maybe it was that they just weren't clearly marked as vegetarian, so she didn't want to take the risk. I'm not sure.
So before anyone says like, "Oh, wouldn't vegetarians not eat smoky bacon?" No, vegetarians can eat most kinds of smoky bacon crisps. That's what I think.
Potentially, I think the meaty ones are probably less offensive.
Like, or roast chicken, maybe.
Yeah, like one of those, like the roast chickens, the smoky bacon, the like barbecue beef, or whatever you want to call them.
They're never as overpowering as like just salt and vinegar, because vinegar is very sharp, and then the salt obviously has its own distinct flavor. And then cheese and onion has like very, very distinctive cheesy waff that not everybody likes.
Yeah, people. Well, why do I want my breath to smell like cheese or onion?
It smells like bacon, mate. Rub it on yourself. People love it. Or you could be like me. I like the beef and onion crisps.
Smeared into your face.
Good fucking Bobby Beefhead for a fucking 2 year in my life, man. Ridiculous. But yeah, that's I'm curious, because like savoury food tends to be.
What I want to bring up though, I know we clarified they're not crisps. So I wouldn't say crisp, but like in that vein of product, say maybe just like the tangy cheese Dorito.
No, I think tangy cheese is too like cool. I'd say cool original if you want to bring Doritos in there, because I don't know anyone who doesn't like or would always like.
I don't really eat cool original personally.
Man, it's the salted Doritos are really boring, but cool original, it's just yeah. I think it's Cool Ranch in America for Americans watching.
Yeah, like I don't think I would necessarily turn one down if someone went eat one of these, but if there's a bowls of like food out, I would never touch them.
You'd always go for the original cheesy.
I'd go for the tangy cheese, or like the chili heat wave or something. But obviously chili, like that's not going to be for everyone.
Well, I've figured it out. If we're going to start including like crisps that aren't crisps, because I guess we kind of have to if we want to get the most. The one that just gets everybody, a hula hoop, mate. I don't know anyone's going to turn down.
What flavour hula hoop?
Just the ready salted hula hoop. Ready salted hula. It's the only ready salted flavour that I think people like. Because I know, or Skips. Because every fucker loves Skips and Quavers.
I don't think everyone loves Skips because that's prawn cocktail.
But what about Quavers then?
Maybe Quavers.
People fucking love Quavers.
Yeah.
Can't beat a bag of Quaves.
The Quave.
No one can stop the bag of Quavers. And like Americans are like, the fuck is all this shit? What are Quavers? Yeah. And I don't know what the American equivalent of Quavers are.
Don't know.
I don't think they have an American equivalent because like What's-Its are cheese puffs.
Yeah.
But Quavers are just their own distinct thing.
American equivalent to Quavers. Just having a quick check.
I don't think they have one.
The first answer just says like, I don't think that we have one.
Yeah, they don't. Like they're missing out on the Quavers, man.
Yeah, someone says like they look a little bit like Fritos, but it doesn't look like a.
Oh, do you know what it'd be, mate? I tell you what it is. It is beef and onion Space Raiders. Who the fuck is going to turn down a bag of Space Raiders?
That is true. You get to build them yourself, Karl.
Yeah, Space Raiders are fucking awesome. As well, they're like 10 pieces. The bag's like this big. So you get like 4 Space Raiders in there. I think it might be Space Raids.
What was it Space Raiders or was it a different one that was like
the car? That was Transformer Snacks.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
Transformer Snack, the hot and spicy Transformer Snacks.
Me and Karl
they were
being
incredible.
Brought back to like fucking 90s corner shops right now.
Yeah, being given 50p by your auntie or your uncle being sent at shop, and you get the bag of.
Well, Walkers cost like 35p. I can only get one of those. Like, if I got like some Transformer Snacks, I can get like 2 packets of them and some sweets. Like,
yeah, they're 24. They're 20p a packet.
Yeah.
Like, cool then. You know what? We can expand this now. What is the most top tier like corner shop sweet?
Oh.
And specifically, I'm going to say corner shop sweets are non-brand name. Because if you're and people don't know, in the UK, there's a very distinct thing known as the corner shop, and it is just like a local owned just shop, usually on a corner, hence the term corner shop. That generally does not sell a lot of brand name things.
Yeah, they generally sell like cheap equivalents of.
Yeah, but because they're cheap equivalents, when you're a kid, you can get more of them. So they have things like, that's when you get things like bar lemonade, which I contend is better than 7-Up or Sprite or any of the bigger brands. Bar lemonade kicks the shit out of all of them.
Mate, I flipped my lid when I found out my local corner shop when I moved sells bar bubble gum.
Bar bubble gum soda, yeah, it's sugar-free. Oh. It's all sugar-free. It's been sugar-free for a decade. They were on that shit before it was trendy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have like bubble gum, like limeade, cherryade, lemonade. Like, it's great. And I'd say sugar-free as well.
Yeah, by bar lemonade. I'm just gonna like drop out there. Did you ever have the cherry drops?
Ooh, yeah.
The cherry drops, because there's no like brand name equivalent of those. Because who the fuck's going to say about cherry drops, man? Cherry drops, and then a can of bar lemonade. That was the fucking shit right there when you're a kid.
See, like I was always after like the chew bars.
Oh, the whams.
Like things like
fucking wham bar.
Like I buy wham bars to this day, Karl.
I still get wham bars. Yeah. We've still got some like stuff left over from Halloween. And me and we'll go, should we like pour this away? It's like, no, because sometimes like I just like to get like a can of Diet Coke and a wham. Just to feel like a kid again. It's like, I like my wham.
People don't know what wham bars are. They're like, you know, I'm trying to think of one without stuff. But like the like chew bars. They're like just, you know, you can get like Vimto chew bars and stuff like that.
I'm trying to think of like the American equivalent. They must have them.
But then they also have like
the one with popping candy in.
They have like bits of like popping candy that are super sour inside the one bar. And it's like, oh, it tastes so good.
And it's like in that same vein as well, the chomp. Does anything...
But Karl, I'll tell you what beats the chomp. The curly whirly.
The curly whirly. Have we talked about my mate who nearly had his eye taken out by a curly whirly?
You've said this, yeah.
Like, where he used to keep his curly whirlies in the fridge and someone, like, fucking wanged it across the room and twatted him in the eye.
I'll tell you what, like, curly whirlies in the fridge are top tier.
They are. And I remember when my old dog Cracker, my dad would take him for a walk every evening. And my mum got really mad when he found out that my dad would walk to the shop, get a fudge, and then share the fudge with the dog. Because she thought like, the dog's not losing any weight. And my dad was walking like 10 minutes down the road, getting a chocolate bar and sharing it with the dog. People wondering, like, fudges, I know chocolate's bad for dogs. There's barely any fucking chocolate on these things.
Slight layer of chocolate around the fudge, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's barely fucking. It's the chocolate that you have in calendars, so it's like, but because it's wrapped around the fudge, and he just give the dog just a little bit of fudge, and it was like fucking. It was loving it. But she got so mad when she found out he was going to the shop. He was walking to the shop to get a fucking chocolate bar and walking back, but he won't buy anyone else one.
Oh god!
Because that's the thing, like, because obviously if people knew you have to do the run, and then you'd have to get everybody a chocolate bar to have a cup of tea, and he'd got like 3 kids and a wife. It's like, fuck that. I was going to go for like some time with the dog and get a fucking fudge.
The thing is, though, being an adult going to the corner shop is very different because I know I have a bit of disposable income.
It's dangerous.
I go in there and I'm like, oh, there's a wham bar there. Oh, there's some millions. Oh, yeah, nice lollipop there. And I'll come out with like a tenner's worth of sweets and bar bubble gum. Like, what the fuck's just happened?
Because they got you. That's how they know. They know that they're going to get you in that way. And like the one that just I see and I need to get these. Like, when I spot them because they're so rare is aniseed balls.
Yeah.
Which come in like the little packet and you make that little clink. And they're fucking incredible. And they turn your mouth red.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They turn your mouth red. And because I get them and they're really great to put inside vodka.
Oh, okay.
If you drop one of those in a vodka lemonade, and it's basically like putting in Star of Anise, but you pour. It's great.
That sounds a bit like it, like give it a bit of like a sambuca-y taste then.
It does, yeah. Yeah, chuck them in like a gin and tonic or something like that. Maybe not gin and tonic, because obviously gin's like kind of like nicer and high quality.
Like, yeah.
But like chuck them in a vodka, it's like fucking sorted. Yeah, and they are lethal for me because I spot them. I can smash like an entire box.
That's the thing is, I'm a fan of American like candy that gets imported over and stuff, but I've always had that idea in my head of like, similar to you being like, oh, I want a bar one day. Like when I was a bit younger, I thought to myself, I really want like an old-fashioned English sweet shop. Like, I'll just because. For nothing other than I want to eat the fucking sweets.
Yeah, I want to smash it all.
You see those shops pop up and pop down like fucking nothing because no one goes.
Not to mention as well, like the what's the word now? Like the profit margins are razor thin.
Yeah, like in my head, it would be great. Realistically, I don't want to do it. Similar to like bars and restaurants and stuff like. I love the concept of having this like perfect bar or a restaurant or shop in my head, but. It's not worth the hassle for the profits that you get normally.
Especially as well these days where all it's going to be is arguing with people wearing masks. And you know what? Like, I think now that I'm just craving a bar lemonade, I might have to go to the shop and get a bar lemonade before our next flooring session. So, the people in my chat, you can press !Lucas now to enter Lucas's chat because we're going to do some Q&A. So people want to ask us some questions. You know why, Lucas? Because I care about my fans. Contrary to what people may have heard elsewhere. But yes, if you've got any questions for us, you can ask questions in my chat now if you're listening, or you can do the same in Lucas's chat, and we'll go through a few of those in a couple of minutes. But before that, Lucas, is there anything you'd like to plug for the people at home?
Yeah, I will just do my usual plug. You can find me doing my usual gaming content over on like YouTube and here on Twitch, and it's just LegendOfKanto. Last Friday on my YouTube channel, Karl and I started playing Link's Awakening on the Switch. So that's had like 2 episodes up, and the next one's going out on Friday. So that's a new series for everyone to enjoy. Yours like bumbling around. I think it's Koholin Island.
Yeah, and then for us, then for me, just Google Cal Smallwood, you'll find me. I've got like a gaming channel with stuff on it, and I think we're not playing Outriders anymore, are we? Because I know we kind of like committed to doing a Outriders playthrough, but we're not doing that anymore.
No, but that's Outriders' fault.
Yeah, we tried. Point. We gave that game, like, I'd argue more chance than it deserved.
We gave it 3 streams of it not working properly and just having to bang our heads against a metaphorical wall.
So instead, we're going to play the ultimate edition of Gears of War. I hope it is. That's the one I downloaded.
Well, that's the one I downloaded. So there we go.
So we'll be playing that several hours after this stream goes live for people watching, but for people listening to this after the fact. If you check out either of our channels, you'll no doubt find like a stream archive of us just playing through Gears of War. Like I'm curious to see what they do with the Ultimate Edition and what makes it Ultimate. Is it just the same engine they use for 5?
I think that it's like they just launched it in the engine that I think at the time it would have been they had for like 4 because it was like close towards the launch of Xbox One. I can't quite remember, but it's basically just it runs better and it looks a lot nicer. It's just in the new upgraded engine.
Fair enough. Okay, then we'll move that out of the way. Lucas, do you have any questions in your chat from the lovely folks at home? Or in your Discord, I believe you have a Discord where you have like questions.
I do. So, like, if people aren't aware, I have a Discord that you can get through my Patreon, the Big D tier. So I will just check if I have any questions in that at the moment.
There was also something we wanted
to kick off one while I have a look.
I was going to say, no one's asking any questions in my chat, which makes it super easy for me.
We
were going to talk about something about the podcast, weren't we? Forgot.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course.
Yeah, isn't Spotify going to do something? Of course, if you've got questions, you can ask them. But I guess in the meantime, we're just going to cover this. So, what is it that we can do with the podcast, Lucas? What is it we're able to do? Or something like a new option that we have as I put this back on the camera.
The Spotify are have let us now sign up to basically make subscriptions available on the podcast, like paid subscriptions. So I've just clicked on the article here. It's like from Spotify.com itself, introducing paid subscriptions made simple for you and your listeners. And it's just essentially that from our end, you can set up a monthly price, and the image that they give is like $2.99 a month, $4.99 a month, or $7.99 a month, and you can essentially go in and choose for episodes to be subscription only,
like release like a week later or something, I suppose.
Or you could make it subscription only and then update it a week later to not be subscribers only and stuff like that. So you essentially give like early access, if it will. And we basically just I sent it over to Karl, like, this is a new thing Spotify are doing. What are your thoughts? And just like we thought we could share our thoughts on here.
Yeah, and mention it on a stream, see if we get some live feedback. And I don't really have any strong feelings about it because I think the moment you put up a paywall, you're just going to lose a majority of your audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
well, then again, no fucker listens to these, so why would I give a shit?
I mean, you get a fair amount of listeners, and that's the thing is, I said to Karl, look, I know that we've mentioned a few times, I get paid from this podcast because Karl pays me from the big Wangers company, but Karl doesn't actually earn revenue of these, so
not at all.
I brought it to Karl's attention, like, look, mate, this is a way for you to actually, not be losing money every single week off these podcasts.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do something about that. Maybe if people listen to the audio version of this, because presumably there's more of an audience for that, and you've listened this far, presumably you are one of the more dedicated listeners of the podcast, reach out to us both on social media. Let us know your thoughts.
Sure. And
that'll give us a better glimpse.
Like, we could essentially put the podcast behind like a paywall. You could do it like a week early for subscribers. Something I mentioned, Karl, is we could keep like weekly episodes free and do like a bonus episode every month for like a subscriber or something like that.
Or spoiler episodes and things like that.
Yeah, and there's multiple ways we can do it, but we just don't want to like necessarily commit to anything without saying we don't really know what works best, and I guess the listeners are.
Yeah, and getting feedback from our audience because it ultimately affects them more than it affects us. So yeah, if you are one of the listeners and you reach out on social media, give us your thoughts. But in the meantime, Lucas, got a question here. Thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat movie? I've not watched it.
Yeah, I've not watched it either.
Easy.
There we go.
It is just a pro tip. If there's a movie coming out during the pandemic and they're charging you 20 quid to see it, I've not seen it. I'm not paying 20 fucking quid to watch a movie. With the exception of King Kong vs. Godzilla, because it came highly recommended by a close friend.
Yeah.
And I trusted their opinion enough that it was worth spending that money. And I
think both me and Jenna were invested enough to like pay the 20 quid for like maybe a Marvel movie.
Just because it's part of culture, yeah.
Because it's part of like the ongoing series of movies. But generally speaking, we've just been happy to wait. Like we were tempted by Mulan, but then it was like a few months later on Disney Plus anyway. It's like, why pay?
And you had like no interest in like just why would I pay? You've already got the original Mulan on here, and it's got all the songs. So
And it's
I
got
think I'm
Mushu
good.
in it. Like, it's categorically a better version anyway.
It is, yeah. Eddie Murphy's involved,
Yeah.
so it's a good project. So, hey, Lucas, any question from your chat or your super secret Discord that you don't share with anyone else?
Yeah, couple from a Discord.
Okay, go for
one,
it. Lay 'em on me.
One asking us to do some bad mocking accents in the way that like Americans do poor British accents. So I'm going to skip over that one just because I don't want to be seen doing a really bad accent. I'm a bit self-conscious about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, accent's not my forte.
No, definitely
Also,
not.
that's not a question.
But someone else said, like, if you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and why?
If it was in America, fuck Donald Trump. If it was in the UK, fuck Boris Johnson.
That's actually
all I've got to say.
The one I wanted to say was just a billboard of "Take Back the Snyder Cut."
And put it next to the other one.
Yeah, just like fuck
Take
it,
it back.
E3 week. Hire out one and I like take back the Snyder Cut. Like, we don't want it.
Yeah, just reject it. Like, it's been critically and commercially rejected. It sucks so much ass. Get rid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I had a chance to say something that publicly, it would just be something like that.
Yeah. Someone asked earlier, like, off the top of my head, how big would you say your video game libraries are, not counting things like Game Pass? And
you can see it behind. You can see it behind me. It's fucking. It's hundreds of fucking games just on a shelf.
Yeah,
or stacked all the way at the back.
I've got like a bunch of Nintendo games behind me on a bookcase and like a few shelves worth of games on here and like some digital games, but nothing compared to what you see on like YouTube of the YouTubers. Like, just walls and walls of bookcases and bookcases and bookcases of games and shit. So probably compared to other people you see like online that make it out like that's a normal thing, probably not that many.
Yeah,
probably
plus
a couple
as well,
hundred games.
And they make it their entire personality, and I'm not about that. I play video games. Video games are not my life or the single defining trait by which I want to be identified or known. So I don't really give a fuck. I collect the games that I like or that I want to have a hard copy of. Yep. And it's that simple. And then we've got a question. It's probably for you more than me. What Legend of Zelda moment were you not expecting? Because I've only played the one game in the series so far, so I don't know whether or not I expected it or not, because I didn't know what to expect going into the game.
Yeah, okay. Well, other than, every moment in Breath of the Wild ever fucking happened, because that game's just a box of surprises waiting to happen.
Yes.
Like, obviously, going into spoilers here. So I'll give people a moment for Wind Waker.
Okay, a decade-old game at this point.
Yeah, like a nearly 20-year-old game. So, people, you've got your chance, you had 20 years, but just the fact that, like, you are in a world that, like, doesn't seem like Hyrule, you're on the Great Sea, and then it turns out that, oh, actually, this is Hyrule, and the, like, goddesses didn't know what to do to stop Ganondorf, so they just flooded the entire world.
Oh, that's rough.
And it's like, we don't know what to, like, the hero doesn't show up, like, it's the whole thing with the timelines, but, like, basically, they think a hero, aka Link, is going to arrive, and no one does, so it just the world goes into panic mode, and they have to just drown the whole world.
It's like, the fuck you didn't win. It's like, yeah, Ganon, have fun ruling over the waves, what not? Easy. Done. And I have no answer for that, because I've not played enough of the series to know what to be surprised by and what not to be. But and then, Lucas, any final questions in your chat? Mine seems to be fairly quiet, which is good for me.
Well, I've one, again, opposite way round. I can't really make much of a comment on, but you can.
Okay.
So what would you guys say is like your favorite or least favorite monsters from Monster Hunter?
I mean, they all fall into archetypes after a while. Like there's like your wyvern monsters, there's your dragon monsters, there's like the weird like snake-like ones. I'm not sure the activity. So I don't have a favorite. one, but I do have a least favorite. It's the Rathalos. The Rathalos can go fuck itself. It's a terrible, terrible monster to fight. I hate that it's the box enemy. And it's the one that's the most iconic because it spends almost all of the time you fight it in the air where you can't hit it with any of your moves.
Yeah, because I remember trying to fight it in Monster Hunter World. Like, I'd just gotten to the point where I could probably fight one. And it's like, it keeps flying away and flying into the air. And
Like, all it does is fly away and leave the area, and then usually go to an area that takes you a good, 3 minutes to get to.
Mm-hmm.
And the ways that you can down it, but I don't want to carry a bunch of that one item for this one enemy when every other enemy, fights me like a fucking man. So you're a giant dragon and you're running away from me, stop it. So I hate the Rathalos. And because it's on the box, it's the one I guess the most love, and it has the most moves, and it has the most things associated with it. It's the one as well that you probably has to fight the most. I'm so fucking sick of fighting the Rathalos.
And I can't really answer because I don't know that many monsters off the top of my head anyway. But someone asked, we did mention this the other week, but we didn't actually talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yes. So
that's probably something we should address. We didn't do a spoiler cast.
Yeah, we were planning to do a spoiler cast for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right up until both myself and Lucas watched the final episode and realised, we're not equipped to have the conversation that we feel is needed and required about a show like this, because it is very, very heavily steeped in the Black experience in America, neither of which myself and Lucas can empathise with, and we didn't think it would be just fair or even just that appropriate for myself and him to just try and geek out over something that is really trying to have a serious conversation or make a very serious point, albeit through the medium of a comic book TV show.
Yeah, it's very focused on that story, and if we take the conversation out about that story, there's not much left. The side stories, so be it. We're not substantial enough that we thought we needed to do a podcast about it. But yeah, as two white English guys talking about a story about being Black in America, we probably don't have the best perspective.
We don't know, and any perspective we do have on it is going to be limited and just not all that useful to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we do,
recommend going and finding more educated opinions on it.
Yeah, and I'll keep my opinions to myself about the show. It's very good. I enjoyed it. But I just don't feel that my particular input is needed in this conversation.
Yeah, totally.
Which goes hand in hand with the views of one of the showrunners, or the showrunner, I forget. But where he just said, this is going to be one of the blackest Marvel properties made, and it is.
Yeah, that was a comment that I thought that's a bit weird to make that statement. But after seeing it,
100%, yeah. And myself and Lucas thought if any discussion we have about it is just going to either skirt around those issues, which isn't fair because they're so prevalent and prominent in the show, and by doing that we're going to it's going to feel, at least to me, and that we're diminishing them.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of a disservice to the story that way.
Yeah, and it's not that, it's just that we don't feel qualified to talk about them. And I bet you anything there are plenty of fucking white dudes out there who think they can.
There's a bunch of them.
Yes, if you want to hear a fucking pasty white dude talk about the Black experience in America as it's presented through the lens of Falcon and the Soldier, you can no doubt find someone doing that right now, but I'd recommend you to go find a creator who is a person of colour, because they're going to have a much more nuanced and educated opinion about that.
Yeah, 100%. And I've listened to a few reactions online, and you can definitely see the difference in the people who are Black and not Black talking about that show, and it means very different things to those people.
Yeah, and it's just not a conversation we feel that our input is required on. So you know what, we're going to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable show.
Yeah, that's all I'll say. And I think we can end on that. And for people watching at home, we're going to be back online in a couple of hours playing Gears of War Ultimate. If we're listening at home, let us know your opinions on a subscription model for the podcast, good or bad. We're indifferent.
Yeah, totally. And you can find my socials. I normally use Twitter the most, so hit me up at Kanto Legend _ and I will try and endeavor to look through all of those things. Whether you think my DMs are open, so either DM me or tweet me. Let me know.
Yeah, and I'll endeavor to join in that conversation too, because you know what, it affects a sizable number of people. I'd hope.
Yeah,
But yeah, see you everyone next time.